Hi again, everyone. Tonight is night 2 of the Bobbsey Twins in School by Laura Lee Hope. We are on chapter 2, and we're coming to you a little late. This whole bedtime thing with no school and lock-ins and everything has become a little crazy. But here we are, and Kaylee is tucked into bed. Want to say hi?
Hi.
So she's tucked into bed beside me. Tonight I remembered to make myself a little peppermint tea before I came up. So I think we're all ready to go. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, Wild Animals. Bert, do you think a tiger might come in here? Asked Freddie, remembering all the stories of wild animals he had heard in his short life. Or a lion? Questioned Flossie. Of course not, exclaimed Nan. Can't you see that all the wild animals are still in their cages? Well, maybe some of them are loose, suggested Freddie, and he almost hoped so, as long as they did not bother him. I guess the circus men can look after them, said Bert. May I get off, Dad, and look around? I'd rather you wouldn't, son. You can't tell what may happen. Oh, look at that man running after the monkey, cried Nan. Yes, and the monkey's gone up on top of the tiger's cage, added Bert. Say, this is as good as going to a regular circus. Some of the big glaring lights used in the tents at night had been turned on so that the circus and railroad men could see to work, and this glare gave the Bobbseys and the other passengers a chance to watch what was going on. Look, there's a black and white candy cane, giggled Flossie as a zebra passed by their window. Oh, you're right. It does look like one, agreed Nan. There's a big elephant, cried Freddie. See him push the lion's cage around? Elephants are awful strong. The little boy began talking about other circus elephants he had seen and how he had ridden on a baby elephant one time. Like his brother and sisters, he had had many amusing adventures, and some scary ones too. Getting locked in a big department store was one. But that was the time Freddie had found Snoop, the lovely black kitten that was traveling with him now. This adventure took place in the book The Bobbsey Twins. The children became very fond of Snoop, who now had grown into a sleek, fat cat, and carried him first to a farm when they went to visit Aunt Sarah and Uncle Daniel Bobbsey, and then on a vacation to the ocean, told about in The Bobbsey Twins at the Seashore. We'll try and get to that one some other night. There was fun in the water, and many jokes were played. Once the small twins were stranded on an island. Later on, a great storm came up, and this gave the twins a chance to see the Coast Guard at work saving lives. Finally, the time had come for the Bobbseys to go home. So once more, Snoop went on the train with them. And now, bigger, wild animals were to be seen right from the train windows. Look at that horse, cried Bert. He's loose. The beautiful white horse was running around excitedly. Two men were trying their best to catch him, yelling, "Whoa! Whoa!" Through a field he went, out of sight. Then he reappeared, galloping among the circus people in the cages, as if he had no idea of stopping. Suddenly, a woman's voice called out clearly, "In the ring, Prince!" "What's that for?" asked Freddie. A moment later, he knew. Prince went back into the field and began to trot in a circle. The woman, dressed in a short skirt, ran out beside him in stocking feet. Suddenly, she jumped to his back and stood up. "She's a bareback rider!" cried Flossie, clapping her hands. "She certainly is," spoke up Mrs. Bobbsey from the next seat, "and she has caught Prince." The twins' mother added as a man came up and swung a halter and rope over the horse's neck. "Goody, goody!" screamed Flossie. As Prince was led away, the twins turned their attention to the capture of a dozen monkeys who were now climbing around the railroad cars. "I wish one would come in here," said Bert. The others wished so too, but the nearest they came to the children was outside their window. One monkey, who looked like a bald old man wearing spectacles, paused on the sill a couple of minutes and stuck his tongue out at them, and the children screamed with laughter. The work of getting the escaped monkeys and other animals back into the circus train was going on rapidly. Some of the passengers went outside to watch, but the Bobbseys stayed in their seats and saw the show from the windows. Catching several frisky ponies was the hardest work, but soon even this was accomplished. When there was nothing more to watch, The wait became very tiresome. Mr. Bobbsey looked about for some railroad man to inquire how much more delay there would be, and the conductor came through the car. "When will we start?" asked Mr. Bobbsey. "Not for some time, I'm afraid," the conductor replied. "The wreck is worse than I thought at first, and some of the cars of the circus train are across the track, so we can't get by. We may be here another 2 hours." "That's too bad. Where are we?" "Just outside of Whitewood." "Oh, that's very near home," exclaimed Mrs. Bobbsey. "Why don't we get out, Richard, walk across the field to the bus line and take a bus home? It won't be far, and we'll be there ever so much quicker." "Well, we could do that, I suppose," said her husband. "That's what a number of passengers are doing," said the conductor. "There's no danger in going out now. All the animals are back in their cages." "Then that's what we'll do," said her father. "Gather up your things, children, and we'll take the bus home. The moon is coming up, and it will be light enough for us to cross the field." "I'll carry Snoop," offered Freddie. As he lifted down the basket from the baggage rack, the little boy let out a yell of dismay. "What's the matter?" asked Nan. "Snoop, he's gone! The basket's empty!" Freddie wailed. Sure enough, the lid was no longer fastened, and the cat was gone. "My sakes alive!" cried Dinah. "The lid probably was jarred loose when the train stopped," Bert reasoned. "That's how Snoop escaped." "But where is he?" wailed Freddie. A hurried search of the car by the children did not locate the pet. Mr. and Mrs. Bobbsey and some of the other passengers then joined in the hunt, but Snoop was nowhere in sight. "Probably Snoop became frightened when the train stopped so suddenly and broke loose," said Mr. Bobbsey. "We may find him outside." I hope an elephant didn't step on him," said Flossie with a catch in her breath. Oh, maybe a tiger or a lion has him," cried Freddie and her. "Oh, Snoop!" "We'll find him for you," said Mrs. Bobbsey as she opened her bag to get out her gloves. Then she remembered something. "Freddie, where is our silver cup?" she asked. "You took it to get a drink. Did you give it back to me?" "No, Mommy. I must have dropped it when the train bumped us onto the floor," he said. "I'll look for it." Freddie looked high and low, and his brother and sisters helped him search, but the silver cup could not be found. "Maybe the lady picked it up," Flossie said. "She was near us." Suddenly they realized the lady was no longer on the train. "Well, we'll just have to ask her," Freddie declared. "I'm going to see if she's in the next car." "I'll go with you," said Mr. Bobbsey quickly. "That cup is too valuable to lose." Should I continue? One more chapter? One more chapter? And on to chapter 3.
Yeah.
Okay, but because it's a video and we're already at 8 minutes, I'm going to stop the video. That's the end of chapter 2, but we're going to go on to chapter 3 tonight. So stay tuned.